Okay. Hi, Mom.
Hi.
Okay, so thanks for being with me today. We're talking about today how to be. It's our How to Be series at Evolved, and we're talking with parents all over the place about this time, which is really weird. And I know you're a parent of older kids, aka me and my sisters, but I think it's still important to hear from you because I think everyone needs to hear from each other right now. It's a great way to just be connected and be supported, and we all need a lot of support right now for sure. So thanks for doing this. Okay. So first question is just, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. As you know, I've been ill, but I didn't know, I still will never know if I had the virus or not, but we're assuming that I do. Tomorrow ends my staying at home. I'm going back to work. I'm feeling better. Um, so during that time, there's like some anxiety and other times where I've appreciated the time just to be at home.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about yourself and kind of what you do for work and just, what your circumstances are with your kids and things like that.
So I have four daughters. Mary's the oldest, and Mary lives in the city. The other three live closer to me in Long Island. So my usual days, I work Monday, Tuesday, Fridays. I work in a hospital. I work 12-hour shifts. I work as a lactation consultant on a mother-baby unit. On the days that I'm off, Wednesday and Thursday, I babysit for one family, and on the other day, I babysit for another family. Weekends are busy with sporting events or shopping with families, that type of thing. So that's kind of my life. I
Okay.
would say. Okay.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks. So what's your typical day right now since you are at home? What kinds of things have you been doing?
So I have been trying, as I felt better, doing some exercise, basically walking. I'm trying to walk. I also do some stretching and things like that to keep myself healthy. I've been trying to be conscious about what I'm eating, trying to eat healthy. And then I'm also beginning to get back into sewing, which is something that now I have time for. So I've been working on that, trying to up my skills a little bit since I used to do that a lot. And in the past years have not had much time for that. So some of my days been doing that. I'm listening to an online conference for my work, for my career, I guess for lactation. So there's a series of about 25 hour long, what do you call them? You know,
Like videos or podcasty kind of things?
yeah, podcasting kind of
Yeah.
things.
Mhm.
So I'm running through those. So I'm using my time to kind of increase my knowledge, doing some reading, a lot of FaceTiming family. So quite a few times a day, I'm FaceTiming, keeping up, because I'm not used to being separated from everybody, but everybody needs to be at this time. So a lot of that, a lot of pictures are coming my way, a lot of videos are coming my way. So reviewing that. Also, a lot of time, like this morning, most of my time, I guess from about 8 o'clock on, was spent emailing, not emailing, motion chatting, and then we did like a group video from work, trying to come up with ideas for our new way of life at work and how we can make things better for our population. So a lot of work stuff still kind of fit in there. A lot of talking to friends, or I would say not talking as much as texting, to check in and see how they're doing. With cousins, we've been going back and forth where they're trying to understand what's going on in our part of the country, which is very different than their part of the country. So I guess a lot of time has been spent on my phone, mostly texting, video, and kind of stay in touch that way, learning, using my time for that, and trying to take care of myself. So that's pretty much what my day has been like.
Wow, that's amazing. And so I know you don't have necessarily, children at home, but I guess even though that's the case, if for other parents watching this who are hopefully in various boats of parenting, is there any kind of parenting tool that you've used right now in your parenting that you feel is really helpful for your adult kids? And could you explain that a little bit?
Well, I don't know if they view it the same way. I think you have to listen. I think everybody's in a different place. Um, I feel like you have to reach out to your family members. I think you have to be, again, like we use the word transparent, which is easier to do with your family, I feel. I think that I need their support. They need my support, depending on the day. Sometimes I need more and sometimes they need more, but I think we need to be there to listen. With your family too, you can kind of reach out any time of the day because they are your family. um, I try to keep myself available. Sometimes just I need to ramble on, and sometimes they need to ramble on. So I think we need to really up our listening skills, and sometimes realize we don't need to give advice, we just need to listen, because sometimes I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah, makes sense. So can you tell me a little bit about a high or a low, that you've had just in this past experience? Is there something you could share that would um, help others to know what is sort of normal? um, so yeah, it's something that's been a real high, a real delight at this time versus something that's been really not so great.
So I'd say the thing that wasn't so great was the first day that I was sick, because I found it very frustrating and very scary. I had worked the night before and felt perfectly fine. And then, to wake up in the middle of the night and have fever and chills and, um, symptoms, and realize, oh my goodness, this is really happening.
Mm.
Um, and just visualizing all the things that could be happening in my body. Speaking to my doctor the next day, who was concerned and wanted me to get tested, and then realizing that that was not going to happen after spending most of the day calling around, and realizing that unless you were really short of breath, ready to be admitted, it wasn't going to happen. So then trying to find information. So I would say that was my low point. And then I realized that this is the way it was going to be. I was going to have to figure this out. I wasn't going to spend time imagining what could be. I was realizing that I was okay and that I was going to get through this. Again, talked to family a lot. Okay, texted, got information from my coworkers, which are amazing. Also, they're very supportive. And made a plan. So that was my low point. I'd say my high point was probably a couple high points. I think, like, again, getting videos, that make me laugh from family members. Mary's been really good about like videoing yesterday, getting the whole family kind of together on a video. Those type of things are high points. I also see my the two that I babysit for the most, actually, and then the other one that I don't babysit as much for because their children are getting older, but I feel like I'm involved. And I see my daughters really stepping up and doing such amazing things
Mm.
with their children, and now they have to homeschool when that's not their number one thing to do. I see from preschool on, I see the children really blossoming from this, and I know that it's exhausting and this is not what they signed up for, but I see one who's starting to talk more, who wasn't talking so much. And I can't think that that doesn't have something to do with being around the mom a lot, and the concern that maybe other people aren't going to have for that. I've seen another one really kind of set up a little school there and really working on their letters, and I see them improving. So even though this is rough, I see these families really jumping right in and doing it, and I feel positives are coming out of that. So I feel like when I see that, that just makes me feel really good inside. I know not everybody has that, but that's what I see from my vantage point. I feel like kids that have that opportunity to have a parent there, or a support person. If it can't be the parent that's consistent, I see these positives coming out of it. So those are my highs and my low.
Thank you. That's really, really sweet. I see that too. So the name of this series is called How to Be. And I guess if, it's a broad question, but the whole pursuit is obvious because I'm an educator and I have this company and all of our clients are parents. And so I thought of maybe creating something that would help us all to understand this notion of how are we supposed to be? And I guess if you had to answer this question right now, and you might have some advice to give all of us parents who are enduring something pretty extraordinary. So what would you say to parents who are watching? How would you say we should be at this point?
I think you're going to have to not be hard on yourself. I think, we're all doing things that are different. One of my daughters is also a nurse. She is really at the front line, and she's going to be more at the front line. So not only is she doing things like homeschooling, which she was very anxious about, but seems to be going very well.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think, she's also distracted at other times, not during those times, but it's very scary. And so I think that you have to realize, as I said, like tomorrow I'll be going back into the thick of it again. We don't have what we need. So I have to realize that this is my life now. I'm going to make the best of it. I'm going to pray a lot, and I'm going to use my support systems. And I think that we have to look at it like people used to look at, when they were in the war and they were supporting things. I mean, I think that we're strong people. We have to use our common sense. So if something doesn't make sense, it may not make sense. So really, look at what people are learning and look at the experts who are telling you different things. I think that we need to talk with our children and not shield them. I think they need to understand age appropriately what's going on. But I think we need to be, and I think we need to down the anxiety when we can and realize that when we get anxious, that's part of us being human beings, and just let us be human beings and learn as much as you can from this. If you can journal it, if you're a journaler, I'm not. I always think I should be, but it never quite gets on paper. But I really envy people that can, because I think that at some point we're going to look back at this and this is going to be history. And I think we're going to learn. And, this isn't going to be the first virus that goes through. And so I think that we can teach, future generation, our children, this is what we did, this is what worked, this is what didn't work. And remember that when you fail at something, that's not failure, that's learning. Okay, it's like, all right, okay, that hypothesis didn't work. We're going to move on with another one that taught me something. So that I would say is how to be.
Very cool. Very nice. Good wise words, Mom. All right.
Well,
So I thank you so much. We're going to end the interview here, but I appreciate you being on my first segment of How to Be this morning. And I'm hopeful that we have lots more of these to help a lot of parents understand how to be. And I will close off, but thank you so much for being here. Appreciate it.
okay, love you.
Love you too.